Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Bum, bum, bum. Before I get this lesson started, we have all praises and glory to Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, Hashem Rakakadash, and double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, of whom I learned from, and Shalom to the whole elect, 144,000, taking his truth to the four corners of the earth, bidding the elect spirits of Yahshua to the marriage supper of the Lamb, who is Yahushua. This is your brother Adah. I'm going to attempt to open up some of this prophecy right here in Habakkuk. Okay. Let's read some of this and we'll go into the blue letter. It's pretty mind-blowing. This is Habakkuk chapter 2. There's some very famous precepts in here, but I want to see if we can go a little deeper, okay? Just by using the blue letter. I will stand. This is chapter 2 of Habakkuk, verse 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower and will watch to see what he will say unto me. Talking about Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, and what I shall answer when I am proved. So he's going to wait for vision. He's going to position himself, and he's going to wait for vision, for instruction. And then when he receives, if he receives instructions, he's going to answer in a corrected and a readjusted, a straightened out manner, a corrected position. Pretty intense, man. Verse 2. And Yahweh answered me and said, right? And this is what was said. He positioned himself to hear, and then he got a response. He got instruction. And what was the instruction? Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables. So write it down, chip it or inscribe it into stone, write it on tablets, that he may run that readeth it. Okay, write the vision and make it plain upon tablets, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision, for this instruction, for the prophecy, right, is yet for an appointed time. I'm going to tell it to you now, but it's not going to speak until later, because a lot of things are going to have to take place on the earth by my hand, my right and my left hand. And then when I'm done, when I'm almost complete in my great labor all throughout the earth, dealing with Esau and Jacob and Esau and the other nations, right? Then the vision will speak. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak. I'm going to speak it to you now, but it will make sense later. And it will lie not, and it will not lie. Though it tarry, though it takes a while for it to come to pass, wait for it, because it will surely come to pass. It will not tarry. So it's going to take a long time, but then it's not going to take a long time. Pretty intense, right? And then right after all of this, verse 4, and behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. Verse 5, yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine. So the person that transgresses by wine is also the person whose soul is lifted up, it's not upright in him. It's the same person, right? Same seed, same house, same race. You got to understand, when this is being spoken, a lot of stuff is not understood yet on the earth. Why? Because it would take generations and generations and generations to come to pass, so that this person who the Spirit is speaking of, right after he gives all of this foundation for instruction on the earth, verse 4 and verse 5 identifies a major key component in a nation of people who are not the Hebrew Israelites, that all of this prophecy right here would be speaking about. Even though it doesn't make sense in the beginning, it makes sense now here in the end. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. Yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine, because he transgresses by another doctrine. by other philosophies other than what is written in Scripture. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all peoples. You would have to understand, when would this take place? Because that's not normal. The nations are separated. Yet this person is gathering all nations unto himself. And the last time something like this happened was in Genesis, in the beginning, even way before this, and the Most High confused the speech of Babylon, right? So this would happen again. This is going to be Mystery Babylon. Can you guys see all that? And this is talking about Esau. But nobody would know that this was talking about Esau, the so-called white man, until later. So let's open up some of this. Look at this. What are we to do as the hopeful elect? I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he, talking about Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, the Spirit will say unto me. What will wisdom say unto us? What will wisdom, knowledge, and understanding say unto us, you guys? Well, we got to position ourselves to hear. Let's open this up. Look at this. It's intense, man. I will stand upon my watch. Let's look up. I will stand. Okay.
Strong's H 5975. Ahmad.
To stand, remain, endure, take one's stand. Woohoo. To stand. This is the attitude. To take one stand, be in a standing attitude, stand forth, take a stand, present oneself, attend upon, be or become servant of. Okay? To stand still, to tarry, to delay, remain, continue, abide, endure, persist, be steadfast, to make a stand, hold one's ground. How, though? Because the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but what? But mighty through the power to the pulling down of strongholds, in this truth, in the Spirit, to stand upright, to remain standing, to arise, appear, come on the scene. Ezekiel 37, the valley of dry bones, the breath waking us up, to stand with, to take one stand, to be appointed, to grow, to station, to cause to stand firm, to cause to stand, to appoint, to ordain, to be presented, be caused to stand, be stood. And they stood upon their feet, Ezekiel 37. So I will stand upon. What's this upon?
Strong's H 5921. Al.
I will stand upon what? Upon, on the ground of, according to. So now we're starting to see that this is going into a doctrine, a belief system. You're going to stand upon, stand on the grounds of, according to the specs, according to the instructions, on account of, on behalf of the law, the prophecies, the testimony of Yahweh Shai, in addition to, together with, beyond, above, over, by, upon, on the ground of, on account of. I'm going to stand upon, on account of. I'm going to position myself concerning, in the matter of, as regards. See it? Okay, so I'm going to stand. I will stand upon, in reference to, in regards, okay, I will stand upon my watch. What's my watch? Look at this. Look at my watch. Look at the guard, to charge, function, obligation, service, watch, to guard. What are you guarding? House of definition or confinement, keeping, preserving, the charge. What are you, this way? The way. What is the way? Yahweh Shai is the way. But what is it? The testimony of Yahweh Shai. You will guard the law, statutes, and commandments. You will guard the prophecies, because you're standing in conjunction in regards to the law, statutes, commandments, and the prophecies. This doctrine, the new song. See? I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower. What are you going to set yourself on? How are you going to set? To place, to set, stand, set or station oneself, present oneself, to station oneself, take one stand. It's all the same consistent line of thought that you're going to stand in conjunction with, in regards to, and position yourself upon. The same word, upon, again. And on the grounds of, on what grounds? Sounds like legal terms. Sounds like an understanding to a philosophy. Sounds like in the grounds of a doctrine. The law, the statutes and commandments, the precepts, the prophecies, the testimony of Yahweh Shai. I will stand and set me upon the tower. What's this tower? Look at this tower. Siege. Enclosure. Siege. Entrenchment. Siege. Works. Siege. Enclosure. Siege. Works. Let's see what siege means in the Edamon. Siege. Siege. I'm spelling it wrong. Siege. I-E-G. S-I-E-G. Look at this. A seat or a chair. A stool. Look at this. A ceremonial seat of a king. Are we not seated in high places? Look at this, you guys. This is a legal position. This is an authoritative position. This is in Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, the stationing of an attacking force before or around a forfeited place. Stand now. Lift up a banner upon the high mountain and exalt the voice and wave your hand, right? Shake your hand, that it may enter into the gates of the nobles in a tested form, sitting down. So you're taking a stand on behalf of this truth in a high seated place. Let's get that precept. Seated. Let me see. Seated in a heavenly place. Let me see. Here it is, the Ephesians. Come on, Ephesians. And hath raised us up and together and made us sit together in heavenly places with a Mashiach, Yahweh Shai. So let's go back. Let's read some more of this. Hold on. So what is going on here? The whole chapter. What? Verifying who this may take a few. Oh, come on, man. Why do you need to see if I'm human, if I'm... Wow. The internet's getting weird. Ephesians chapter 2. And you hath he quickened, who were dead in trespasses and sins, wherein in times past ye walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air. That prince of the power of the air, that's talking about Esau, you guys. Who has control over the internet, over the media? Well, the unicorn, not so much, but now he's gaining control over it. But the media, television, movies, the printing press, the airwaves, the radio, air traffic control, the so-called white man controls all that. So he's been able to speak his wine, his philosophy to the whole earth and deceive the whole earth from that position of power. He's been controlling the narrative for a long time, and through the unicorn, through the internet. But of course, before the internet, the Most High woke up. He prophecy, right? Elijah was sent back, came back to life, turned our hearts back to the fathers, turned the hearts of the sons and daughters to the hearts of the fathers, and we began to understand the precepts and the prophecies. And one by one, we began to wake up. Ezekiel 37, the valley of dry bones. I'm talking about the four corners of the earth, but mainly America, right? Wherein in times past ye walked according to the course of the world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience. Verse 3, among whom also we all had our conversation in times past, in the lust of our flesh, fulfilling the desires of the flesh and of the mind, and were by nature the children of wrath, even as others. But the power, who is rich in mercy, for his great love wherewith he loved us, even when we were dead in sins, hath quickened us together with Hamashiach. By grace we are saved. That quickening, that's talking about Ezekiel 37, bro. That's the breath. That's the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. That's the bone coming to bone. Let's get it real quick. Let's get it. We'll come back to this. Let's go to Ezekiel 37. This is because without this breath, we're the vision of the valley of dry bones. The hand of Yahweh was upon me, and carried me out of the spirit of Yahweh, and set me down in the midst of the valley which was full of bones, and caused me to pass by them round about. And behold, there were very many in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry. Are we not called to Zion? Are we not called the daughter of Zion? Are we not called Zion, Mount Zion? It is a location, it is a place, but it is also a people, because we are the temple of the Most High, right? We are the temple. Our bodies are becoming that temple, that new Jerusalem. What is one of the key words or root words of Zion? It's parched place. It means memorial, a memory, a memorial, but it also means parched place. We need water. What is one of the attributes of the Father? What is one of the attributes of Yahweh Shai? Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai is the fount of living water. We were created to thirst and to be quenched. We were created to thirst for him and to only be quenched by him. And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And we need his living water. And I answered, O Lord power, thou knowest. Again he said unto me, Prophesy unto these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of Yahweh. Thus saith the power unto these bones, Behold, I will cause breath. Breath is spirit. Spirit is fire. Spirit, fire, breath, and water. It's all the same. It has different. It's the same force. It's from the same source. Yahweh Bahashem Yoshai, and it has all those attributes. It's wind, it's breath, it's living water, and it's also consuming fire. I will cause breath, living water, consuming fire, wind to enter into you, and ye shall live. I will sprinkle living water on you. I will baptize you in the Holy Spirit. I will wash you with the washing of the water of the word. I will consume you with my fire. I will place my fire in you, right? He will baptize you with the Holy Spirit and fire. John the Baptist, Elijah said, and I will lay sinews upon you. I will construct. I will do a great labor in you. I will restore the tabernacle of David as before. I mean, it's Zechariah. I think that's Zephaniah 9, Zechariah 9. It's one of those prophets. And I will lay sinews upon you, and will bring up flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you, and ye shall live, and ye shall know that I am Yahweh. So I prophesied, and I was commanded, and as I prophesied, there was a noise. That's the sound going out from the prophecies, from the prophet, from Elijah, from John the Baptist, from Abba Bivens. And behold, a shaking. Once you declare this truth, it gets released into the earth, and the hosts of Yahweh begin to shake it, move it, and begin to quicken, and the bones come together, bone to his bone. This is the quickening. This is the quickening. This is the quickening in the spirit, you guys. And when I beheld, lo, the sinews and the flesh came upon them, and the skin covered them above. And this is every aspect of being restored. The house of Israel being set in order before thine eyes. But there was no breath in them. Then said he unto me, Prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, and say to the winds, Thus saith the Lord power, Come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain that they may live. And this is the quickening. This is the baptism of the Holy Spirit. This is the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived. Just like when Adam got the breath, he became a living soul. He was already alive before he got the breath. He got the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, like we have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding now, and we can live before the Most High and Yahweh Shai and the host, and stood up upon their feet, an exceeding and great army. Let's go back to Habakkuk chapter 2. Let's go back to here. Even when we were dead in sins. Verse 5 is talking about Ezekiel 37. He hath quickened us together with Hamashiach. By grace ye are saved, and hath raised us up together. And because we live with him because now we have wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Because we understand this truth, we can speak the words of life. We can speak the words of fire. Because you speak this word, I will make my words in your mouth fire, and this people would. And everything about the word of Yahweh, which is the word of God, which is Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is the word of God. We are now qualified. We are now positioned to be seated in heavenly places because we have royal speech. We have heavenly speech. We have on high speech, speech that is high and lifted up. We are speaking the words of the Most High. We are repeating his words back to him from the earth. And hath raised us up together and made us sit together in heavenly places, because now we are learning this new song. Look, verse 6. Now look, let's go to Revelations 14. What is Revelations 14? It's the same thing. Seated in high places. Look, the Lamb and the 144,000 on Mount Zion. And I looked, and lo, a Lamb stood on the Mount Zion. That's a high place. And with him 144,000 chosen. They're seated with him. Even though they're standing, they're seated with him too. Because you got to be, if you can sit, you can stand. If you can stand, you can sit. You can't just be there, right? That's a high place, you guys. It doesn't get any higher than that except for Yahweh. And wherever Yahweh Shai is, Yahweh is very close by, because Yahweh Shai is always with his Father. And now these 144,000 are always with Yahweh Shai. And then you don't forget the 1/3 innumerable multitude who follows the 144,000. And I looked, and lo, a Lamb stood on the Mount Zion, and with him 144,000 having his Father's name written in their foreheads. All intertwined, all intermingled, very close together. And I heard a voice from heaven as the voice of many waters. There goes that Spirit again, that fire, that baptism of the Holy Spirit, that wind, and as the voice of great thunder. And I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps. And they sung, as it were, a new song. This is the instruction after we get reproved in Habakkuk. I will wait. I will set myself on the tower. I will wait to I'm gonna go back. I don't want to butcher it. And they sung, as it were, a new song before the throne and before the four beasts and the elders, and no man could learn that song. See, and the elders. So these guys are seated in high places, because these the four beasts. Look, and they sung, as it were, a new song before the throne. The throne is a high place. Salakia, man, I'm a freaking throat strip now. And before the four beasts and the elders, Salakia, and no man, damn, and no man could learn that song but the 144,000, which were redeemed from the earth. These are they which were not defiled with women, talking about the doctrines of the earth, talking about the doctrines of Esau and the other nations, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto the power and to the Lamb. He hath raised us up together and made us sit together in heavenly places with Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, that in the ages to come he might show the exceeding riches of his grace and his kindness toward us through Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. For by grace are we saved through faith, and that not of ourselves. It is the gift of the Most High, not of works, lest any man should boast. For we are his workmanship, Zion to Zion, the parched place, the memorial is the workmanship of the Most High, and Yahweh Shai, created in Hamashiach Yahweh Shai unto good works, which the Most High hath before ordained that we should walk in them. Let's go back to Habakkuk. There's a lot in this. I don't even think I'm doing it justice, man. You can go on so many levels with this, man. And he answered, okay, wait. I will upon the tower which I will watch to see. Okay, let's go back. So I will stand upon my watch. This is all connected, and set me upon the tower. That's the high place. That's the seated in high place. You got to be quickened to do this, and we'll watch. Once once you position yourself to be in agreement with the doctrine, you also got to include the elders and the apostles of the great millstone in this, because you're not just going to get anything you want directly from Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai without positioning yourself on some level before his men, because the Most High operates in order. And if he does speak to you somehow directly through an angel or through the Spirit, he's not going to separate you from his men. You will eventually link up with the elders and apostles of the great millstone, whether you become an official member or a camp that is an affiliate. You will agree with this doctrine, and you will have love and respect for all the men of GMS and the men that agree with GMS, because the same Spirit operating in them is operating in you, because you will agree on the same doctrine. It says in Amos, how can two walk together lest they be agreed? And so you can see all the camps that don't agree with GMS, and you can see the difference in their doctrines and how they teach. You can see how they miss the mark on so many levels. Okay? So I will watch. Let's go to I will watch. Now that we're positioned, now that we're in agreement, now that we've been quickened and we're seated in the high places, or we're getting there, now we're going to watch. What is this? To look out or about, to spy, to keep watch, to observe, to watch, to keep watch, spy, to watch closely. So watching involves listening, and watching involves seeing. So this also, again, goes back into the doctrine. It goes back into the correct names. It goes back into the men operating in those correct names and that doctrine, because this is what you're looking at. And then as you learn this the correct names and the doctrine, you, from that position, then you can look into the earth. You can look at America. You can look at news. You can look at TikTok. You can look at Instagram. You can look at YouTube. You can look at the television. You can look at Hollywood movies. You can look at the city. You can look at your family. You can look at everything. You could look at any nation from this perspective, from this viewpoint, from the names of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, from the doctrine, the truth, the 100% truth, the new song, and you can see everything according to prophecy. And or you can listen to someone explaining these things according to prophecy and also get it. You see how powerful this is, man? And as you're watching all this, okay, to see what he will say, to see, again, look, to see, to look as, to inspect, to perceive, to consider. That's major, because we don't have it all. We don't know every fucking thing. But when you're positioned in this 100% truth, you're considering everything in the 100% truth, and you're growing daily in the understanding, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the doctrine. To perceive, to have vision, to look at, to regard, look after, see after. You see, to learn about. I'm busy. Hold on. I'm busy, bro. To observe, watch, to look upon, to look, to observe, consider, look at, give, attention, discern, distinguish, to look at, gaze at, to appear, present oneself, to be seen, to be visible, to cause to see, show, to cause to look intently at. So the Spirit is now causing you to see this truth, to perceive the testimony of Yahweh Shai, which is the spirit of prophecy. From there, you learn this doctrine, and from there, you're able to submit everything in the earth under this truth. You're able to take every type of situation and line it up with these precepts, and the word of power dominates it. The word of power has preeminence over it. The word of power is superior to everything, but you have to know this truth, or at least be listening to somebody that does. To see what? We're going to go through all these words. What, how, of what kind, whatsoever, wherein, whereby, how much, how, until when, how. Okay, to see what he will say. Listen to this, what he will say. Talking about the Most High. To speak. This is talking about his prophets. Because he speaks through his prophets. He speaks through his angels. He speaks through his word. Okay, and his prophets, his apostles, his angels will uphold his true name, Yahweh, and the name of his son, Yahweh Shai. His true prophets will declare his true name and his son's true name. What is his name and what is his son's name? If thou canst tell, it's in Proverbs. To speak, to declare, to converse, to command, to promise, to warn, to threaten, to, look at this. Yahweh Bashim Yahshai will sing to you. He will sing over you, to speak with one another, to talk. This is the communion. This is the communication. He will give you an ear to think upon he will give you an ear to hear and to think upon his name. To speak, to promise, to be spoken, to speak, to lead away, to put to flight. Look at this. I will wait to see what he will say unto me and what I shall answer when I am reproved. So once he corrects you, once he positions you, once he opens you up and you're able to listen, once you're able to listen and to see and to perceive this truth through his prophets, through the Spirit, by his word, and his name, Yahweh, and his son's name, Yahweh Shai, you will eventually then be able to answer, because answering is speaking. I shall answer. You will be to return, to turn back. See what that, to turn back, to return, to come or go back. You'll be able to, human relations, of spiritual relations, because in order to speak, you have to face. You have to, once you've considered, and this is the form of not rejecting, it's accepting. Once you've listened to instruction, once you've listened and considered truth, once you've received this truth, you are able then to what? It turns you back and you become face to face. You become you position yourself in front of his wisdom, because his wisdom is his face. His wisdom causes his face to shine, right? And so if his face is on you, his wisdom is on you. If his wisdom is on you, eventually you will come into understanding. His wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and you will be able to communicate back with him, to turn back of inanimate things in repetition, to bring back, to restore. You guys see it. To bring back, to allow, to bring back. You see it. I will answer when I am reproved, because you're going to be corrected when the Most High speaks to you. You're not right. He's the one that's right. You're not right. On the grounds of, according to, on account of what? This truth, on account of the blood of Yahweh Shai, on account of the correct way to understand prophecy, on account of the great millstone, GMS. Oh, why you keep exalting? Because the Most High, that's who he rose up. I will give you pastors who will feed you with knowledge and understanding according to my mind, according to my heart, according to my law. You got to deal with it. He always has a system of men in the earth that he uses, and it's always Hebrew Israelite men, elect men. It just is what it is. I can guarantee you guys, my ear became 10 times, 100 times more sharper as a result of my what's the word? My proximity to GMS. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm still not an official member of GMS, but the minute GMS came into my YouTube algorithms and I began to listen to them, and then and it took about, I'm gonna say, I listened to them for about 6 months. I was physically attending Sakari's camp over here in Georgia. And I was always talking about GMS when I'd go over there, and they would look at me crazy, but they wouldn't say anything because I was new. And then once that little debacle took place with Sakari, when they did the Passover at the bar with the girls and the bottles, and I remember Elder Yasharamba, the head of the Dallas camp. I was in my room preparing for Passover with them on YouTube, watching the recorded videos of the elders. And Elder Yasharamba did a lesson, a real quick lesson, and I remember his anger. He's a very calm man. He's a very masculine man. He's a very gentle man. He's not weak. He's very strong, but he has a gentle spirit. He's hilarious too. This particular season, the amount of anger that he expressed in this lesson with Sakari doing the Passover in that bar setting, that topless bar setting, with those women. I'll never forget the aroma of the fear of the spirit of Yahweh that came into my room, listening to the elder express anger for the house of the Lord, for the house of Yahweh. I had never experienced a man express such a righteous, zealous hatred for anything or anyone who would attempt to pervert the holy things of the Most High. It was my first living example of watching someone express an anger, and it was an intense anger, you guys. And I remember I began to weep. That was the turning point in my spirit. That was when I realized. I was like, wow, GMS really is different. They really do. They love Yahawashi. They love His Word. They love His Father. They love all of the things that were given to us in this heritage that was given to us in these books. And they're not about to watch anybody just come in and pervert stuff without saying something. And that also goes into watching. One of the root words of watching is to guard. We are commanded to guard and protect this truth. We're the only ones that were entrusted with it in the earth. The Edomites, the so-called white man, has had the Bible in his hand for hundreds of years, and he's done absolutely nothing with it. The world does not know anything in the scriptures because Esau has not taught it correctly. You see, because it wasn't entrusted to them. They don't truly love the scriptures, and so, anyways, I went off on a tangent. But we're seeing if you hear by the Spirit directly, and it's sincere, you will line up with GMS or with an affiliate camp of GMS. You won't be anti-GMS. I don't understand how an Israelite can claim Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai and then have some weird twisted anger about GMS. That doesn't make any sense. That's weird, bro. That's weird. So, but we see the definitions of these words. Let's go back. And so when I am reproved, and so all of this comes into what? A rebuke, correction. We need to be corrected. Why are we in America, and why did we go into slavery, you guys? Because we were being corrected because of what we did in the past, the adulteries that we committed. We were passing the seed. We were passing our holy seed, the holy seed, through the fires of Molech. We were sacrificing Hebrew Israelite children who were supposed to be consecrated to Yahweh. We were giving them to Molech. That's how we were committing adultery. We were worshiping the Queen of Heaven. We were pouring out drink offerings to the Queen of Heaven. We were lighting incense under every green tree. We were envious of the heathen nations and their heritage when the Most High had given us the most amazing heritage on the planet Earth. He gave us His wisdom. He put His name on us. He gave us His laws, statutes, and commandments, which are not rules. They are a way on how we express ourselves as a nation on the earth. And they line up with the planet. They line up with the seasons. They line up with our bodies. They line up with the temple. It's amazing what He gave us. So I apologize. I kind of went off on a tangent there, but there's a lot in this. There's more. It goes in here, but I opened up this first line, this first verse one day, and it blew me away. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what He will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. I was like, what? So we got to position ourselves in a heavenly place, seated with Hamashiach, Yahawashi Hamashiach, to then to come with an attitude to see and to hear, knowing that we're going to receive correction. But as we are receiving correction, what happens? It's number 2. And Yahweh answered me. This is what you want. You want the answer. Yes, you want correction. But what happens in the correction? He also gets a vision. He gets instruction for the future. And this is what we want, the functionality of what we are. What are we? We are the prophets. We're the sons of power. And what are the sons? They're priests. They operate at the altar, just like the Alahayim do. You want your functionality as a son restored. And part of that is prophecy. Part of that is understanding prophecy. Part of that is waiting for instruction to be corrected. But the blessing of the correction with Yahweh when you're one of his sons is you get the vision, and the vision is the illustration of the prophecy. That's what the vision is literal, the DNA, it's the genetic structure, it's the written code of what the prophecy is that's going to manifest in that specific spoken word. And that's what you see in verse 2. And Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision. What's the vision? And make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. So the others, when they hear it and read it, he may run. It may quicken him. For the vision is yet for an appointed time. So right there, Yahweh is showing you my word, my labor. It spans time and space. So even though I'm speaking it to you right now, this is going to take some thousands of years for it to come to pass. That's how big this vision is. That's how big this word is. That's how big this labor is, right? Understand that part. I'm laying foundation right now with you in the beginning. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, because I got to work in the earth to bring it all together so it will make sense once it all starts to come together. But at the end, it will speak. When you're at the last stages of this building, when you're on the other side of the planet, because I'm going to scatter you, when I bring you down and bring up other nations, when I then put Esau on top, and it's evident that he is who he is, and he's in the rulership seat, right? It will speak, but at the end it will speak and not lie. Though it tarry, it's going to take some time for this to come to pass. Wait for it, be patient, hang on, because it will surely come to pass. It will not tarry. And then what happens? It goes into 4. It pivots. Behold, this is part of the vision. His soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him. Who is he talking about? He's talking about the wicked. He's talking about the man of sin. And because it would take time, verse 3, it's going to take time for this to be revealed. It's going to take time. I got to let other nations rule. I got to bring those nations down. There's going to be generations involved. And then I'm going to raise up the wicked. I'm going to put the base man on top of everybody. But no one's going to know, because I also got the mark of Cain on him, which conceals him supernaturally from judgment, so that he can go all the way to the end and become the most wicked nation on planet Earth. And in the end, it will speak and not lie. Behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him. But the just, that's talking about the elect of Israel, because all the other nations got a chance to rule, and people thought they were something special at one time, but they failed. And now I got my hidden ones that are on the bottom, because I'm chastising you right now. Nobody thinks that you guys are anything. But what does Wisdom Solomon 5 say? Then the righteous man will stand at the end and stand boldly before him who did not account of all his labors. That's this guy right here. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just is talking about us on the bottom, shall live by faith. Verse 5. Yea, also he causes, because he transgresses by wine. He is a proud man. This dude is proud, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. And we have seen the fulfillment of this in America, and now they're going to try to do it all across the globe with the one world order, with the undertaking. You see that? So I'm going to cut it short. This is way more deeper than what I was attempting to do, but I was like, let me get this up in the internet now before I forget some of it. So I pray that this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakadash, and I want to give double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, of whom I learned from, and a shalom to the whole elect, taking its truth to the four corners of the earth, bidding the elect spirits of Yasharallah to the marriage supper of the Lamb, who is Yahweh Shai. This is your brother Radah. Shalom.